Good morning, Valley students. This is Dr. Mike, and this is week 2. Believe it or not, we're already there. 3 weeks passes very, very quickly, and I hope that you found your way around last week and did well. Most of your materials should have been in by last night for week 1. Let's do our best not to have extensions. Let's work in the week we're in and do our very best. Online training is not easy when you don't have a classroom to meet, but you have to set aside time for yourself when nothing hinders the fact that you want to get rid of your or get done with your materials and get your classwork done for the week. Don't let anything hinder you from that if you can. This week, our activities of week 2 support the following objectives. This comes from our syllabus. Be sure you read through those. Last week we talked about words and parts of speech. This week we are talking about how to write a paragraph, and we're preparing and moving our way towards the writing for the papers and different things that we have to do. But the videos for the week, how to write a paragraph, how to write an introductory paragraph are key learnings, and then your text readings are 17 through 22. Let me encourage you to scan through those and refresh your memory. I doubt that you'll read every word of those. If you have the time, I would encourage you to do so. I also encourage you to keep this book because it's a very handy guide to what you need to know for the future. But writing an introductory paragraph includes a thesis sentence for the paper and then the context around that. So it will be a paragraph of at least 3 to 5 sentences, and your thesis will be in there. So be sure that you pay attention to that. Our discussion board 3 for the week is about keys to hooking your audience, and that's what you're doing in that first paragraph. How do you make it interesting to your audience and make them want to read your writing? Now, sometimes we think of writing only as a means to get an assignment done and not about our reader. But if you are a serious student, you're going to always be concerned about who's going to read this. In this day of internet, anything that we get posted out online is going to be there forever. Somebody's going to be reading your work for the next 10 to 15 years or 20 years or 30 years or 100 years. And so it reflects upon you as a student. And I encourage you to make sure that you proofread, that even your discussion boards, or do not write in textese. That's my other pet peeve. This is not a text. You're not talking to your friends. This is a formal writing experience. So be sure that you put in all the words and spell them correctly and use correct grammar. For the next discussion board for the week, we're going to be talking about the conclusion. How to write a conclusion to your paper. This is probably the least thought about and the time least spent on any part of the paper. Most people just want to get done, and when they reach their word count, they just sign off and don't give much content to this. But writing a professional conclusion is helpful. Your paper has meaning and purpose, so be sure you spend some time looking at that. And then think about how to conclude your paper, the wrap-up. That's important. What conclusions are you drawing from your writing? In addition to that, you have another essay due this week. It's a cause and effect essay, and I give you a list of topics, and you can pick from one of those. Or have you done in the past? If you want to write a cause and effect on something else, send me an email, ask permission, let me think about it, and give you my approval on that. But it is due also on Sunday night. Your week 2 assignments will be exercises in MindTap, and then your homework will be the next phase of your research paper. And so be sure you give that some thought. And then, of course, your week 2 quiz will be exercises and notes from the reading material only. So review those before you take the quiz. Well, that's pretty much it for week 2. We're pretty well settled in, getting ready for the home stretch next week. And if you have questions or comments, please communicate. Please be engaged in the discussion boards. You don't just have to do an initial post and 2 follow-ups and then quit. You can always come back and comment on things that are said and ask questions and find help. Those are well worth following through the entire 3-week process. So at any rate, that's it for week 2. Look forward to week 3 and talking to you again.